Hey everybody, it's Ron. Welcome back to the podcast. I'm here with Jake. What's up, Jake?
Hey, what's going on, Mr. Ron?
Well, I know everyone has been talking about this on the interwebs. I usually stay away from stuff like this, like, oh, there's a news, article. Let's go through a news article because everybody does it. So it's kind of like, why add on to it? What am I gonna say that's any different?
Why perpetuate it?
Yeah, but with the DC announcement, I just realized that I have a lot to say about it, and I think you do too, because you're pretty well versed in the DC stuff.
Sure.
So let's go over it. I just have all of these up. So when did James Gunn do this?
I think pretty recently.
I thought it was like a couple days ago. Whatever. So he starts off with an animated movie, or no, I think it's an animated show, Creature Commandos.
Okay.
I remember that name from DC.
I think that's Wildstorm shit. I think that's like old Jim Lee. Back when it was Image, and then DC bought out Wildstorm, and I think that's how they that came under that umbrella, I guess.
Well, some of the characters I saw on it, actually, the first thing I'll say is positive. I did like the picture that he showed or whatever, because he showed like one picture for each thing, and I did like the way the animation looked. It didn't look like that generic animation that DC has been doing, with everything.
And I think they're I guess the people, if they have them in these live adaptations of the movies, they're going to be fulfilling the voice roles, I think, for their animated counterparts or
cool
whatever.
Too. That's fine.
Which is fine.
It's not like that's never been done before, but okay. So I think I saw Frankenstein in there, which is kind of cool. Like Grant Morrison did a lot of that with that character. So
I've never really heard of that.
It's he had a series called Seven Soldiers of Victory. It's like 2 trades worth. I have them. And it's kind of the lesser known. Some of them are like horror themed villains. Well, not villains, just like DC characters.
Okay.
And he kind of puts them all together in a Justice League type of situation. But so it's kind of like Justice League Dark.
Right.
Before that had happened. So that's kind of interesting to me because, I like the Swamp Things and all those type of horror themed characters. So that's okay, especially if it's animated too. It's like you can do that on the side. That's fine. Like I understand that. But then he goes into another TV series that I guess is going to be on HBO Max, and it's a Waller show, which is
that character needs more depth.
Yeah. So what do you think about Waller?
Other than being really excited about it, and really, I just cannot wait for every single episode. I don't know. I don't know how much he's going to be involved in it as far as writing or putting it together or plotting it or something. Right. But there are going to be Suicide Squad characters and probably other obscure DC characters in there to make it more interesting, because who wants to just watch a show about a lady? It's like, okay, she's a lady. What's funny is our interpretation or our idea of a conventional character or an unconventional character. It's almost seen through 2 different lenses. Like common moviegoers, these people who aren't too into comics, they're going to look at and see these obscure villains, and common villains to us would be considered somewhat obscure to them. So they could do something like a fucking Deathstroke or something like that in a Batman movie or something along those lines. And we've seen that a lot in the comic books, but that's never really been adapted. But he's jumping in and doing Creature fucking Commandos. Do you see what the fuck?
Well, yeah, at least what I was saying is at least it's an animated movie or whatever show.
Right. I just don't think that's what they need to bring it back from the dead.
No, I know. I think we'll get to it, but my whole opinion on all of this is you start with a Superman movie, and that's the first thing you talk about too.
About that.
And that's the first thing you announce too. I don't understand why that wasn't the first thing he talked about, because he's writing it and probably going to direct it.
Why do you think they should start with a Superman?
Because it's just, let's go back to the legacy of DC Comics. Let's do we'll start with Action Comics. You know what I mean? You can even call it something sort of related to the old Superman. I'm not saying you have to start out, and you can make it modern day, but at least try to make it feel like it's a brand new thing. This is the first superhero that anybody knows in the DC universe. Really, really start over with that and do a Superman, establish him as he's never been established before. You can maybe even go a little bit more than the Christopher Reeve one, because they got it right as far as the way he played him, the way he played Clark, and the way he played Superman. It was very in line with how people see him from the comics and everything. But you can even go a little bit further and go, I would say, take a little bit of influence from that, a little bit of influence from the regular, main continuity comics, the history of it, and then also add in a little splash of All-Star Superman, and I think you got a good little formula there.
Yeah, I was about to ask, do you have a particular storyline or a villain in mind for what that movie might be?
I would say you do a classic Lex Luthor, and then not just have Lex Luthor as the main brains of the whole thing, and then maybe another villain that because you know how what movies have done that well, like you have two villains and they kind of work together. You know what I'm talking about?
Right. So it might be kind of fun
because then you can have a superpower villain too,
right?
And Luthor, so you can have like the best of both worlds.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying. So
yeah,
I don't know. I think that's interesting. So do you like I guess they're making a younger Superman for this.
Yeah,
so
but I don't think
than Batman.
That's stupid. I think they should be the same.
Weird.
I feel like at least casting wise, they should be around the same age.
Right. They're contemporaries.
Yeah, contemporaries. Exactly. I don't understand that. Why? What are you doing?
I don't know. I don't think, in my opinion, if I was doing it, I don't think Superman would be my first movie to establish your continuity or start to establish where you're going with the story. I think he could, in my version, he would be more like this mythical figure in the background for a couple of movies, because we've all seen these Superman movies. You're all just retreading ground that's been done. It's like doing Batman's origin every single time a new person takes over the Batman movie. Like they tried to do the Superman movie first when Zack Snyder took over everything, and I actually really enjoy Man of Steel. It's dark, but I kind of like the darker shit anyway. It didn't really bother me all that much. But I probably would start somewhere like Green Lantern. It's more fun. You can start with the more mythological shit. I think they said with the first phase of this new DCU shit, it's going to be like the gods and monsters type of phase.
Yeah,
which sounds really nice.
It sounds nice if it was like 5 years down the line. You know what I mean?
Right, yeah.
And we've already established all the regular heroes first.
Right.
And it's interesting you said Green Lantern. I would have him as probably the fourth or fifth movie. Not the first. Yeah, definitely one of the first, one of the first phase or whatever, if you want to talk about it in Marvel terms and shit. Right. But yeah, I would do Superman. I would do Batman. I'm not really sure who I would do for the third one.
Right.
Maybe actually a Green Lantern, because it would just be more interesting. It's like, okay, we have one that was is from space, like from a different planet, right. and then a more grounded one like Batman.
Sure.
And then, okay, let's switch it up again. Now we'll do like a space. We could do kind of take cues from the Jeff Johns stuff, like really do it.
Right.
And introduce the whole Green Lantern Corps and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And then, dude, honestly, I don't know if this is controversial.
Right.
I would introduce Wonder Woman. I wouldn't give her own movie. She would be kind of like, and a couple other characters too, like Martian Manhunter would be in there, but I wouldn't give him his own movie.
Oh, see, I would. I disagree with you on Martian Manhunter. He's great.
And then I still don't even know about Flash. Maybe Flash could hold his own movie. I don't know.
Well,
but I think if you get the right people for all of those characters and pepper them in the other movies, it could work.
Right.
Kind of like how Hulk, works really well in the Avengers movies, but like when he has his own movie, it's like eh. And then same thing with for me too, my other opinion that might piss people off, I don't know. But I thought Black Panther worked really well in Civil War.
Right.
And then when I saw his movie, I was like, it wasn't that great.
Yeah, no,
you know what I mean? So I feel like he worked better in an ensemble, and I feel like Wonder Woman would too, and maybe even The Flash, honestly. And Martian Manhunter, I know you would want to, you said you would.
Well, that's just because he's such a weird character that's never really been utilized the way I think he should be utilized. He's kind of underappreciated. He's been around a long time.
No, I like it. I like him in the context of the Justice League, I guess.
Well, what's interesting about the character is you can make a weird ass fucking movie just revolving around him. Like, because one of the aspects of his character, I guess, is him assuming the guise of people. Like, he can take on the appearance of other people.
Yeah.
And so and when he does, he gets so wrapped up in becoming this person that he kind of loses himself.
Mm-hmm.
So you could literally write a whole movie based on that. You know, just him playing all of these different people.
Well, dude, honestly,
in the course of a life,
you could do it how like I don't know if you ever read The New Frontier,
No.
Darwin Cook book.
No.
It's kind of like his Justice League book,
right?
And it's cool because you could take some cues from that and introduce him without knowing it,
right?
In one of the Batman movies as one of the detectives, like he's
well, exactly,
yeah.
So I just think because Martian Manhunter would be an interesting movie because it wouldn't be a typical superhero movie if you didn't want it to be. It could almost be like a Moon Knight movie where the guy has so many fucking psychological defects and shit like that, and he becomes so many different people, different personas, where it could be more predicated based on his mental illness and his fucked up warped view of everything and what he's become, as opposed to him confronting these supernatural threats or these superpowered threats and stuff like that. That could be like an aftermath thing. So just in terms of, I don't know, tone, it would be an interesting movie, I think. Other than that, honestly, the strongest story to ever come out of Flash, in my opinion, which is somewhat typical, would be like Flashpoint Paradox, but you can't start off.
You don't start with that.
That's
right.
insane. You can't introduce the Thomas Wayne Batman before you introduce Bruce Wayne. You know, so you can't start with that. Superman, I wish they would do something with Brainiac.
No, you can. I think you do at least the second movie. You know what I mean? Don't start out with it.
Right.
You have a sort of a lesser villain for the first one.
Right.
That's still good with Lex Luthor. Like I said, establish their relationship. And then you could have a villain work with Lex Luthor to try to because Lex Luthor could be like the brains behind it.
Right.
And then use some guy who's a little bit stronger than him to, to try to
Morrison, little story there. The Injustice League.
Earth 2?
Yeah.
JLA Earth
the JLA.
2. Oh, yeah, I just reread that.
That'd be a great story.
I know, but that's like way down the line. You do that.
That'd be a really weird one.
Yeah. So
Waller.
Yeah,
Waller. Going all the way back to this. Is that
it's
something you would
boring.
even try to watch? Bother to put on?
I'm not going to watch.
No. I just don't
you'll
get
see
it.
What I'll see is when I'm just scrolling through stuff or whatever on YouTube or wherever it is.
Right.
I'll see this villain showed up and we never seen him before. That's cool.
Did you watch that Peacemaker show?
Nah, I just, you know what? I'm going to be honest. I liked, as far as James Gunn goes.
Right.
I don't think he's terrible. I'm not super hating on him like some people are. I know he's talented because I really liked Guardians of the Galaxy, the first one.
Sure.
The second one was okay to me. It was like, eh.
Kurt Russell, man. Can't go wrong.
Well, I love Kurt Russell. I just, I'm getting a little sick of him. And I don't like the goofiness all the time.
Right.
And I don't like the, it's just weird that he talks about how he loves all these DC characters and everything.
Right.
And then you do something like Peacemaker and it's just like, oh, Aquaman sucks fish dicks, or whatever he's saying. And it's like, Batman's a fucking loser. And it's like, all right, everything's a joke, I guess. We're not going to take it seriously at all.
Right.
I know it's a goofy thing like superheroes, but come on, man. You have to show some respect for this shit.
Yeah.
And Peacemaker was stupid. I saw the intro and they're doing some goofy fucking dance together. And I was like, I'm out. I'm not doing this.
Pretty much.
I wasn't into it. The Suicide Squad movie was okay, I guess.
I thought it was funny.
Right.
I actually rewatched that recently, and
I'm sure if I rewatched it,
still funny.
Yeah, okay.
It is what it is. It's not my favorite thing in the world, but it's not horrible.
I like that he's good at taking the obscure characters and doing something interesting with them.
Which is exactly what he did with Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. He's good at that. I don't know. It's something's getting old about it to me, and I just don't like that aesthetic. I guess I don't know. I just don't like that style. I mean,
it just sucks that it's the most kind of palatable stuff that's been coming out in the comic book, a movie scene for the last couple of years. So that's really it's the metric. That's kind of what's been good.
Yeah.
Otherwise we're getting Alfred Pennyworth, the butler of Bruce Wayne, and we're getting all these asinine little spin-off shows that nobody fucking cares about.
I know people say this all the time, but the balance that I would like the Justice League cartoon and the animated Batman animated series tone, even the Superman show. Like I thought those tones were perfect because they took it seriously, but there also was a little humor peppered in. And it wasn't too much.
Sure.
And it just worked. And I know those are two different things because then you got to bring it into live action, but you can that works in live action too. You know, if people really get into the characters, they'll get wrapped up in the world, even though it's silly sometimes to have a dude in red underwear flying around
fighting crime.
But you know what though? This isn't the real world. This is the DC universe, and that's just what it's like there. So you just have to accept it going in and have fun with it. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I just don't understand that. It's like it doesn't have to be realistic.
Right.
We can go into the another universe that these things, this is the way it is. You know, there's a guy that dresses up like a bat, and even the Batman guy maybe could have some blue in his costume. Who knows? Can we do fucking blue? It could make it work. Maybe make it a little bit darker. How about that?
That's true.
Just try it. I don't know. Try something new.
Right.
Anyway, so Waller is whatever. That just seems
it's dead on arrival.
It just, I don't know. I'm sure it'll fucking get 8 seasons. And then the other show they announced is Booster Gold.
Oh god.
Which
why?
I would see like a one shot, 45-minute short on it on Booster Gold. That's fine because you could do something like wacky. I do like more of the sillier stuff as I get older for some reason.
Right.
Like when I was younger, I liked all the dark stuff. But now I kind of like somewhere in between, and so it could work. But a whole TV show, especially if it's like 12 episodes or whatever, I'm just not gonna want to watch it.
I would be happy if Booster Gold was relegated to the same little containment thing that Howard the Duck was in for the Collectors and the Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah, sure.
Movies. There he is. You catch him right there.
Yeah.
Oh, that was Booster Gold.
Yeah.
And let's move on with our lives. Fuck Booster Gold.
Okay, so let's move on to the next one. Enough Booster Gold.
Are you sure? He's such a compelling character.
No, that's another one. It's funny in some Justice League or whatever. Justice League International, I think. Anyway.
Right.
The next one we have is Lanterns. Not Green Lanterns.
Yeah.
Just Lanterns.
Right. And I think it's supposed to be Jon Stewart and Hal Jordan.
Which is fine. But then when you keep going...
The angle of True Detective.
Which True Detective? Season 2?
Right. So another case of tone deaf. Everything about this list of shit that's slated to come out for the DCU 2023, whatever, the next couple years is fucking tone deaf.
Here's the worst part about this announcement. It's gonna be set on Earth, which makes me feel like they just don't want to give it a high budget at all. So they're like, fuck it, let's just do it on Earth.
Right.
Because it would have been so much more interesting if they're doing we're 2 space cops in fucking space with aliens and different planets, and you could like go to fucking like cool planets that we know from the DC universe and tie things in that way. Yeah. But no, we got to do it on Earth, and it's gonna be boring as fuck.
Yep.
God damn it, Jake.
So they could have did like Sinestro Corps War or something,
or set up that stuff. Yeah.
Or even go somewhere crazy obscure. Like fucking Rage of the Red Lanterns. You know what I mean? Or something like that. Just to fucking whatever.
Like work up to that stuff. But I'm pretty sure, right? He said it's all gonna be terrestrial, so it's just like on Earth.
Great, perfect. That's what I want.
Them just like solving cases on Earth.
Wonderful.
It's like wow, cool.
It's fucking weird, and that was out of everything they announced. That's the one thing I would want to be excited for.
I know. If you got like the whole Green Lantern Corps and it's in space, and you go to Oa, and you could, I don't know, all that shit would be so fun.
Beta Ray Bill and stuff like that.
Well, that's Marvel, bro.
Oh, that's
what are you talking about, Thor?
I'm thinking
Get
something
out.
else. I'm gone.
Get out of your own house.
I'm gone. I'm gone. I can't believe I went there.
So yeah, I don't know. They're gonna make it like a mystery, but it's okay. That's all fine. Just don't have it on Earth. You could start out on Earth and then branch out, after the first episode or something.
I was thinking of, right?
Yeah, get Kilowog in there. That's the fun of all that.
That's what I was fucking thinking of.
That's the fun of it,
Yeah.
Yeah. So
it's a kick in the balls. I'm not.
So that's actually probably the most disappointing thing because, like you said, I was kind of looking forward to that.
It's like Waller.
Yeah.
Creature Commandos. Oh, Lanterns. Oh, I know them.
Now here's, I think, the one to me that might be even more boring than Waller.
Oh.
For a TV show.
Wow, hit me.
Paradise Lost.
Oh.
Set on Themyscira.
Yep.
It's just, it's kind of like Gotham. You know, they show Gotham.
Yeah,
it's like, here's Gotham and no Batman. You're like, okay,
I think they described it as like Game of Thrones, but on an island full of ancient Greek ladies.
You would think that being on an island with a bunch of women would be awesome.
It sounds like a paradise.
It sounds like it would be cool. It would probably be a fucking nightmare.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Definitely. But it's probably a big island. I'm sure you could find an isolated spot when you need to get away.
Did you ever just live with one woman?
Oh, yeah. Oh,
yeah.
God. Hence,
my wife's going to fucking kill me if she listens to it.
It's just fucking weird. It's another case of who cares, unfortunately.
Yeah, why? Who gives a shit? Like, you can, whatever.
It's just that it sucks that this
nobody gives a fuck.
They're trying to resurrect a dead franchise right now from the dead, and it's
God.
Yeah.
All right, now here's where things get sort of interesting. Where it's like, okay, we should have just let off with this.
Okay.
Superman Legacy,
right?
Written by James Gunn. I'm like 50-50 on that. I don't know how I feel about that because he did say some interesting things, like he was gonna kind of explore the whole thing where it's like, how does someone like him fit into the world, because he's has like really good values and everything, and you know, we kind of live in a more cynical world. So that was encouraging to hear, because it's like, oh cool, he's actually gonna make Superman like Superman and not just like a brooding fucking idiot like in Man of Steel. So
right.
That I like. I know we have differing opinions on Superman, I guess. So that's cool. I don't know if he's going to direct it or not, but hopefully that will be fun.
Probably. If he wrote it, he's probably going to direct
it. You know, hopefully that'll be good. I'm going to kind of wait on that. I'm going to hold my opinion until I see something from it.
Right.
Now, this is retarded, even though, just for the first lineup to me, even though I like the comic, you know, I like the Warren Ellis comic. I like the Mark Miller one.
Okay.
The Authority.
Okay.
But here's the thing. I know that in later years, they like kind of brought them in with the DC characters because it's technically the same company, but these are like Wildstorm characters.
Right.
So just don't do this yet. Just fucking wait. I feel like he's impatient. He wants to do some things that he really likes, but you gotta wait. You gotta wait and do the lay the groundwork first.
You can't just be self-indulgent. You're not James Cameron. You're not allowed to be James Cameron.
I don't get it. I don't get why this is on the first slate of things.
Yeah.
So really, that's all I have to say about it. Like, I like the comics. It would be cool to see as a movie if somebody did it right. But why now? It's weird. Okay, this is also interesting. But I have a lot to say about this one.
Okay,
I want to hear your opinion as well. I like that it's called The Brave and the Bold.
Okay.
Because how many fucking movies are going to be called Batman, Batman does this, The Dark Knight that? We can't do it anymore. I get it, okay? Yeah. But here's the big problem. And I bet you other people have said this, but why are we fucking bringing in Damian Wayne? We're just establishing this new continuity.
Yeah. I agree.
Dick Grayson, maybe it doesn't even matter if it's like when you start the movie, Dick Grayson could be like on his way out or something. You know what I mean? Like getting a little old for it.
Yeah.
And then you could bring in the new Robins. What are we doing?
Establish Bloodhaven a little bit.
Don't go right into Nightwing. Like, come on.
He kind of shares a lot of the same rogues gallery as Batman anyway. So it could be him fucking with Penguin or Roman Sianis or any of these kind of offhand characters. It could be just as interesting.
Yeah.
And then him trying to bring in Jason Todd to set up the Red Hood. You know, like they've never done that cinematically. Like we have the one thing with in the
you
Snyder
could work up
version.
to all this.
Right. Yeah. It'd be fucking fun. I mean, if they did Death in the Family, I really wish they would change the fucking story. As much as I like seeing Jason Todd get beat to death with a pipe, I think it was.
Did you vote for that?
Oh, no. I was 4 years old.
I'm kidding.
him like the Joker going to Afghanistan to steal all these weapons or
that whole
get the fuck out of here with this.
I did a whole video on that. Yeah,
keep it in Gotham, But I don't know. I think there's a lot there. I think Jason Todd would have been the more cogent choice in terms of the Robin to establish. Like you have to build up to the Talia al Ghul thing and the
even
Ra's
that,
al Ghul
right?
Because he's not the. Again, I know you hate this word. He's not this grounded interpretation like out of the Nolan versions. Where he was more Ra's al Ghul instead of like this Ra's al Ghul that we knew from the cartoons.
Right.
I assume or at least I attribute the Ra's thing to the supernatural Lazarus Pit having fucking counterpart, I guess, of that character. Then the League of Shadows or whatever is League of Ninjas there.
Yeah, and it sucks.
It'd be cool, but
yeah.
Man, like as long as they don't bring in what the hell is her name, Carrie Kelly.
I don't think they will.
Oh, thank God. That is by far the worst version of fucking Robin ever. It bothers me that because loves her so much.
They're not going to do it. Well, I wouldn't do it at least because that's like to me that's like the Elseworlds Robin.
Right, and I think they're doing stuff like that in this. So it's stuff like this the Batman movie that.
Now it's Elseworlds.
It's Elseworlds.
That's fine to label it that. It's just confusing to people who are not fucking nerds.
Right.
So like whatever.
Right. It's a very convoluted.
Oh, the whole thing is still a mess, and that's what's funny about it. It's still all a mess.
It's just I really question their choices of trying to resurrect this thing. Trying to bring interest back into something like this.
So I'm torn with this one because at least with the Superman one, it seems like they're starting fresh, completely fresh. And with the Batman one, it's just, why are we jumping to Grant Morrison's run? As much as I like Grant Morrison's run, why are we jumping to that? It makes no sense to start Batman off like that.
Right.
I understand the position they're in where they're like, there have been so many Batman movies, we have to do something different. But it's like, okay, you know what? You're going to have to work a little harder.
Right.
And you're going to have to do a, like a Batman movie that's starting from the beginning. And I'm not saying you have to do an origin, but you got to start from the beginning in your own way.
I agree.
And not just jump to a future storyline,
I agree. I really think if they would have established Grayson on the way out becoming Nightwing, and then Jason Todd coming in, and then the whole thing that happens with Red Hood, he thinks he dies, and then him getting to the point as a character, even if they're going to do it, getting to a point as a character where because Jason Todd knows so much about him and his modus operandi and how he goes about things, and that he kind of can't handle this just by himself, and so he needs this other surrogate character that he swore he would never have again after the death of Jason Todd. And so that's where Damian comes in, and the son's helping his father get through something he knows he can't get through himself or won't ask for help himself.
But then, what's funny is that then we're skipping Tim Drake, you know what I mean? So it's like, fuck. Yeah. I mean, I guess you're never going to make everybody happy, but...
Well, no, that's what I'm saying. So bring in Tim Drake to... I don't know. It sucks. The Robin thing sucks. We haven't really had a Robin cinematically since Home Dude from Batman Forever.
Yeah, which doesn't even count to me. It doesn't even look like it. It's not the same thing. You could even, if you really don't want to go through the whole Dick Grayson Robin era, do a fucking 5-minute cold open, of their time together to kind of establish the both of them.
Right.
Oh, and then you can, at the end of it, you can even tell this story without any dialogue, with just music in the background, and just show the whole, their relationship.
Right.
Kind of something goes wrong. Dick Grayson's out. He becomes Nightwing and whatever. And then you could start the Batman movie and you could put in Jason Todd or whatever as a little side plot or whatever. Yeah. I think that would be fucking awesome, dude. And fans would really love that too. Right. And moviegoers, as long as you do it well, they can get into anything. I mean, they've proven that with the Marvel stuff back in the day when it was good, when the Marvel stuff was good. They were doing a bunch of crazy shit and everybody was on board because they were fun movies. Right. So it's not impossible to do. So
would you prefer, what would you prefer? Would you prefer James Gunn the way it is? Or would you feel a little bit more secure if it was like the Russo brothers coming in and trying to do something with it and establish this continuity?
I think they would actually be better at it.
I think they would be better too.
Yeah.
I really
what the
do.
fuck?
I really
yeah,
do.
they would probably be better at it.
At least if you get a couple of good movies out of
They've
this.
made more good Marvel movies than James Gunn has, in my opinion.
Give me a Superman movie on the level of like The Winter Soldier or something like that. You know what I mean? Just
well,
like
a Batman movie
good.
on the level of Winter Soldier, like in the same tone, would be fine.
Oh yeah, definitely. Even a Green Lantern movie in that tone would be fine.
Oh yeah, they would do a great Green Lantern
awesome
movie because they've already did some cool space stuff in the Infinity War stuff.
That would just feel much more secure, I think.
So yeah, that one it's gonna be. I'm torn with that because I'm gonna be, as a fan, I'm gonna be interested to see like Damian and the whole, just to have a Robin in the mix. I mean, it's gonna be interesting to see how they do that and everything. Right. But again, why that to start off with? It's
so is there anything that is on the docket to come out over the next couple of years that has you somewhat at least curious or anything like that? Something you hope will come through and be somewhat tolerable or watchable or whatever? Because I don't at all.
No. The only thing is, I guess I'm sort of interested to see what he's going to do with Superman, but I'm not getting my hopes up, so that's about it.
See,
yeah, but there's two more, Jake. There's two more on this list.
Oh God.
Okay, this wasn't the end. This wasn't the end. Now here's where I might get kind of fucking pissed off. Actually, I don't know. I'm gonna try to keep it.
Calm your tits, Rob.
They're doing a Supergirl movie.
Oh fuck yeah! I've been looking forward to that.
No, see, do a Supergirl movie in like the phase 2 of this. What are you doing?
See,
why is that the first?
Not a bad character.
No, I'm not saying that any of this is bad. That's the thing. None of these, well, except for like Waller and stuff. Who cares?
No, that's blatantly bad. That's what's fun about it.
I just fucking. Why are you doing it now? And to make it worse, James Gunn's like, yeah, we're gonna take influence from Tom King's fucking whatever. I guess he did a Superman series. I would never read it because I really don't like his stuff.
With the whole writing process and in terms of, I think, setting up and mapping out him, like the woman who wrote the first season of The Watchmen with David Lindelof.
Oh God!
It's like, dude, we are fucking screwed in terms of.
You know what? I'll say this.
Yeah.
I'd rather him do this fucking stupid Supergirl thing,
right,
than New Gods, because he was supposed to do New Gods, and that got canned, and I was like, thank God. Tom King, enough said. I don't want anything to do with it. I don't even want to see the fucking trailer.
What about what's the next one?
He cannot write like a cool hero and just do a regular superhero comic. He has to fucking make it depressing. He has to make it like, he has to make it about his own life. And it's so fucking stupid. Dude, you suck. Okay. Get outside your own fucking head and write these heroes. You're not Batman. So Batman does not have your personality. So Tom.
He projects his own bullshit onto these characters. I know the one he did. I think it's the
get out of your own fucking ass and write these heroes how they were always. Show some respect, maybe to the people that you. I don't know. Maybe you don't. Maybe you don't idolize fucking Jack Kirby or any of the people that created this shit that are way better than you. And then you just come in and fucking make it stupid. You make it depressing. Right. No little kid is going to want to read your Batman crying over Catwoman because she didn't marry him. Get the fuck out of here. I told you I was going to get mad.
That's fine.
Fuck.
Fool yourself. It's fine.
Anyway, okay, so the last one, and here's another one that I would like way down the line, Swamp Thing.
Okay, so Swamp Thing, like kind of like a one-shot movie or, just one or two movies, didn't try and make it this big fucking franchise it out and turn it into something bigger than it is, and tried to just do a sci-fi kind of horror kind of movie. Somebody actually tried to do something with it stylistically, and it would be fucking amazing. I'm not saying give it to, who's the fucking Peckerwood that did The Witch?
Robert Eggers.
Yeah, so somebody like that, just somebody.
He's never gonna do a Superman.
No, and I don't want him to. After seeing the fucking Northman, please. I'm good on Robert Eggers. Yeah, fucking asshole, really fucking shit the bed. But I don't know, just somebody with their own a singular vision. It's a simplistic story, and it's a story that somebody can do something with. It doesn't have to be kind of pigeonholed as something superhero related. You know, it could just be a weird science fiction movie. And I know they're not going to do that with this. It's probably going to lead into something like Justice League Dark or something like that for the second phase of whatever the fuck this DCU thing is turning out to be that'll only last for a couple of years.
Yeah.
I don't know. That one is also a kick in the balls. But it's like Lanterns and then Swamp Thing. Those are the two things I want to be really good. I want Superman to be good. Grain of salt, though. You know, I kind of know it's going to be middling. Swamp Thing by Alan Moore. Obviously, not his character, but as adapted by Alan Moore way back when, is one of the single best comic book runs in the history of fucking comic books, in my opinion. And if they did a hard R, but that sucks.
Yeah, I just, Swamp Thing would be cool to see a new movie about Swamp Thing. Just not, again, the same thing I said with Authority. Like, I like all these properties.
Right.
And
you're way more forgiving than me when it comes to a lot of this shit. So when you're blatantly disappointed in something, I really have no hope for what they're about to do. Like, we're fucking screwed then.
Yeah, so it's just why now? You know, Authority and Swamp Thing are cool things you could do when all the tried and true heroes have already been successful in your run, like in James Gunn's run, okay? Right. And then you go, all right, cool. Everybody's down with the core heroes.
Right.
Now we can throw in a fucking Swamp Thing. We can do this and that and try new things because now we have, you know, the stuff to back it up.
Right.
Why? That it just doesn't make sense right off the bat. It's just really stupid. And I know that it's easier said than done. Like, I can just sit here and say all this, but
yeah,
you gotta, and like I said, I know that it's like, well, there have been so many Batman movies. There have been so many Superman movies. There's already been a Wonder Woman. There's already been an Aquaman. Okay, but I'm sorry. You're just going to have to work a little bit harder and reestablish them again. I know it's been like only a couple years, but you have to reestablish them and make it so good that you make people forget about that bullshit. Well, and then you're good to go for the rest of it.
I don't think it's not like they have to be established as a character. People know who these characters are. You have to establish the context that these characters are put back into.
I'm not saying do origins.
Not as hard. It's not hard. People know who Batman is. People
I know.
Who Superman
I'm not saying you have to do the origins.
No, I know
I say you should for Superman, actually. It would be cool to see it again.
See, I really fucking like that one.
Briefly.
I really like the one that Zack Snyder did. I'm not going to lie. I just wish it was more rooted in like the actual comic with like Brainiac and shit like that. Because isn't that what it was in the comic? Like, it was actually Brainiac who blew everything up on Krypton.
Which was what was he taking influence from?
Continuity.
Okay. There's so many different.
No, not from Zack's. I'm talking about. I like Zack's, but I think originally in continuity, Brainiac had something to do with Krypton going to hell or something like that.
Oh, you know what? That was from the animated series.
Oh, okay.
Because Brainiac was like a separate entity, I think, in the main continuity, like in the comics.
Right. He had Kandor, right? The small city.
Well, that's another whole thing. Yeah. And then you have like the Phantom Zone and all that shit. Like a computer system at the start of the animated series. Right. On Krypton, and then that just kind of like brought him into that. It's kind of like it's kind of like
Skynet.
Yeah, it's kind of like what somebody would do in a movie to make it relatable to the character right off the bat.
Skynet, then.
Yeah,
and I don't think that's what it was.
Which is a cool idea. No, it wasn't.
Yeah,
but they did that.
Bothers me about that character too, Mr. Ron. Pisses me the fuck off actually, because he's such a cool character.
What?
Brainiac.
Yeah.
But they could never cohesively put together a really cool story with
Brainiac.
And like flesh out his origin. And
Jeff
stuff.
Johns did an okay one.
Right. But I don't know. It just sucks, man.
Yeah. So I mean, that's it though. That's really it. That's all of them. Yeah. Sorry, I had a lot to say about this.
No, it's all good, man.
I knew I was gonna get a little heated. Which is funny because I really actually at the end of the day I don't really give a shit. I still have like I get so worked up about these things just because it's frustrating. It's like why are you guys doing this?
Right.
But at the end of the day, I got my comics. I got the good ones, and I can pick and choose what I want to read and enjoy. And the comics are always better than the movies.
They're always on your shelf.
And it's not the same thing. So this is just a different entity that they're gonna fuck up, and then we could just laugh at it, whatever.
Yep.
But it would be so great, wouldn't it, to just have some good shit to watch and go, wow, I just watched the new Superman. It made me feel great. Right. It was awesome.
Yeah, I agree.
And I don't know. We'll see if that happens.
Well, I agree, Mr. Ron. 2023, 2024, I think they announced shit through pretty much July of 2025 was like one of the later ones.
Oh, yeah. And half of these are probably not going to happen.
Oh, no. And I really hope not. It just really sucks that they're starting out with one of the ones that I know are going to do absolutely nothing to get DCU up off the ground. Again, really driving for that Waller series, driver.
Oh, yeah. Can't wait. We're going to be covering Waller. We're doing the Waller podcast.
Oh, dude. Scene by scene, frame by frame of Waller.
It's going to be called Off the Waller with Ron and Jake.
Yep. End with my suicide.
Yeah.
But fucking...
Can't wait for that Waller. It's going to be awesome.
That's it, man. But it's been fun, Mr. Ron.
Yeah, always. We'll be back next time. Probably, you know what? Next time we need to cleanse the palate and just talk about like 5 comics that are fucking awesome that everybody should read. Something silly like that.
Positive things about comic books.
Yeah, because holy shit.
Yeah, no.
All right, that's it. We'll see you next time, guys. Take care.
I said, see you.
Hey everyone, it's Ron here with a quick announcement. When I started this channel, I was reading and reviewing the Dune books and other sci-fi related material, and most of you might not know that I'm also a musician. So when I was reading these sci-fi books, I started to get inspired and decided to make my own soundtrack to use for my videos, and now I'm excited to tell you all about the first volume in the Ron Reviews original soundtrack collection. This album includes the first 17 tracks featured on my channel, and it's available now exclusively on Bandcamp. Be sure to check the description of this video for the link to the album. Thanks so much for the support so far. I know I'm just starting out, but I hope you're having as much fun as I am. So check out the original soundtrack Volume 1 on Bandcamp. This music is great if you want something moody and atmospheric to listen to while you're reading some science fiction. I think you're going to love it. Thanks.